Ryan and Toad, written by Duck Show Studios. One day on the Little Western, the engines were up and ready to go. "Oh dear," said Oliver, "I have to pull some auto coaches. Isabel and Dulcie." "I don't know what you'll be doing today, Toad," said Oliver. "Oh dearie me, I wish I could be really useful." "I know, I wish I could work with you, at least for part of the day," said Oliver. "And beg pardon," said Duck, "but I'm not pulling any trucks today either. There's extra demand for passengers today. Sir Topham Hatt has scheduled more trains." Then they heard a "Ha ha! Easy does it, sir," and Winston arrived. "Oh, hello, Duck, Oliver, Toad. As you know, there will be an extra demand for passengers on the Little Western today," said Sir Topham Hatt said. "Yes, sir," said Duck. "Oh, right, sir," said Toad. Sir," said Oliver, "do you think you could have a special job for Toad? He doesn't have any jobs today." "That's exactly why I came here," said Sir Topham Hatt. "Toad, you have a very special job today." "Oh, really, sir? A special job for me, sir?" said Toad. "Right, a special job for you, Toad. You shall work with Ryan on the Osborough-Harwick branch line." "Oh, yes, sir. I will work with Mr. Ryan, sir," said Toad. Toad was really happy. "But all the same, if you don't mind, sir, I would like to be back here by night time, because I would miss Mr. Oliver." "Right, Toad, I wouldn't have it any other way. Oliver, before you pull your passenger trains, can you take Toad to Osborough to meet Ryan?" "Right, sir," said Oliver. Soon Oliver and Toad were puffing along. Ryan was at the station.
"Oh, hello, Oliver. Hello, Toad. I heard you're going to be working with me today."
"Oh, yes," said Oliver. "Toad's going to be working with you today," said Oliver. "Now, Ryan, I hope you two have a great day."
"I've never worked with a talking brake van before, Toad,"
said Ryan.
"It should be fun."
"Oh," said Oliver, "talking brake vans are the best kind of brake vans." "Yes, we are," said Toad. Oliver left Toad with Ryan. But earlier that day there was trouble. Ryan's fireman had taken ill. "I'll manage," he said. "Let's go on, carry on." And he could barely stand. "Are you sure you're okay, fireman?" said the driver. "I'll manage. Just need to warm up shoveling coal." Ugh. Soon Ryan had fetched his trucks. And back down on Toad.
"Thank you, Mr. Ryan. Today will be an adventure, if you understand my saying so, that is." "Oh, yes, of course I understand your saying so, Toad. It will be a big adventure,"
said Ryan. Soon they were off. They puffed along.
"So, what's it like working with Oliver on the Little Western, Toad?"
said Ryan.
"Oh," said Toad, "Mr. Oliver is very kind. He can be a bit cocky, though, and sometimes a bit boastful. But most of the time he's really nice. And all the time, in fact, he's really nice. Oh, I know how you feel. Daisy's quite nice most of the time, but can be very boastful. Oh, Mr. Ryan, Mr. Oliver's nowhere near as boastful as Miss Daisy. Oh, glad to hear it.
They puffed along some more.
So, Toad, tell me about what you and Mr. Oliver do on every day. Mr. Oliver usually takes trucks along the Little Western and sometimes to the main line. And I'm his brake van, Mr. Ryan. I help him when he needs me. And when I'm not working with Mr. Oliver, I'm working with Mr. Douglas. Oh, I usually pull trucks along here. Probably because I'm an old steam engine. I'm also very strong. Yes, sir, I see that, said Toad. Do you and Oliver have a lot of fun times and adventures on the Little Western? Yes, we do, Mr. Ryan, said Toad. We have lots of adventures. One time, I wanted to go forwards for a change since, you know, Mr. Ryan, I'm always facing backwards. Oh, would you like to be face forward today? Oh, no, I learned my lesson, Mr. Ryan. I fell into the trucks ran away, you see. Then I went in a pond, you see, and then I got all wet and muddy. And I like to look forward to the future. Busy going backwards, so to speak. Oh, I see. Well, one time, Daisy had to take important trip of actors. But then she found out she didn't take the luggage van. Jack Oliver and I didn't understand what she was talking about with all her theatre talk. And then she left behind the puppet stand. And it was a good thing that the one puppeteer had the puppets at hand. And then Daisy had the clever idea of being the puppet stand. She told me all about it. Felt a bit ashamed of herself for not taking the van. But I told her everyone makes mistakes. And she said, not me. And I said, oh, I'm not so sure. Yes, Mr. Ryan, everyone makes mistakes, said Toad.
Then there was trouble. Oh!
Oh dear, is everyone okay in my cab?
Said Ryan. Oh no, we're not. Your fireman fainted, said the driver.
Toad! Toad! Put on your brakes now,
said Ryan.
But why, Mr. Ryan? My fireman, he fainted. He hasn't been feeling well all day. He said he'll manage, but now he's on the ground.
Right, I got this, said Toad. He slammed on his brakes. At last, the train came to a stop.
Phew,
said Ryan.
You're a really useful brake van, Toad. Oliver and Douglas are extra lucky to have you,
said Ryan.
Thank you, sir, Mr. Ryan.
Soon a relief man came to take the fireman's place. When Ryan and Toad arrived at the station, they were late, but Sir Topham Hatt understood. And so did all the customers. Ryan's fireman was taken to the hospital, and he was okay in the end. And as promised, Ryan brought Toad back to the shed where Duck and Oliver sleep. Oh, I wonder where Toad is. I wonder if he had a good day. My day was pretty usual. A sheep came loose, but I just missed it, and raced along the line was Isabel and Dulcie. Beg pardon, yes, that sounds very exciting.
Oh, it isn't as exciting as what I did, Mr. Oliver, if you don't mind me saying so, said Toad.
Oh, yes, we had a near miss, we did, said Ryan. Toad can tell you all about it. All right, Toad, I'd love to hear your adventure.
So, we were puffing along, just exchanging stories, and then, but earlier, Mr. Ryan's fireman,
Continued Toad, and that's the end.